Good morning, everybody. Thanks, that's awesome. Must have gotten enough coffee today. I just want to welcome everybody today. My name's Faith Rothberg, and I'm the CEO of College Recruiter. It's a niche job board for hiring internships and entry-level jobs. And I just want to make a couple thank yous today. The first one is to Barbara Badawi. She was our point of contact here at GSA and was gracious enough to get us this room. Since we have a GSA contract ourselves, it was available to us, and she helped us coordinate all of that and be able to have it in this location. The other reason that we chose this place is because since everybody in here is works for the government employee, or and the speakers are all government as well, that we thought it'd be great to work in a government facility. So, secondly, I'd really like to thank TMP. John Bersenti is over there as our sponsor today and made it affordable for us to do this together, which is great. And joining myself today from College Recruiter is Jamara Cheek back there, who welcomed most of you as you came in and gave you your badges. She's our National Account Manager for Government Sales. And Matt Peterson back there, who's today our videographer. He is usually our senior web developer and our product manager for our website. So we gave him a little break today, come videotape and CDC. And then lastly, I'd like to introduce my husband and I guess life partner and business partner, my husband and partner Stephen Rothberg, who is the president and founder of College Recruiter. So with that, I would like to start with our keynote, introducing our keynote speaker today. Her name is Jayana. Oh, I'm so bad with names. Oh my goodness, I apologize, guys. Jayana Garvey, and she's the program manager for the Emerging Leaders Program for the GSA. She'll be talking to us about this program designed to recruit and develop top entry-level talent. And she comes with a background in finance, an MBA from Georgetown, and a year abroad in Spain, which I'm really interested to hear about, and made the job switch from finance to human resources. And so with that, I'd like to welcome Jana.
My name's Jayana Garvey, and I'm the program manager for the Emerging Leaders Program. So for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about how we recruit top entry-level talent, specifically through this program here at GSA. I mainly run this program for our headquarters location, which is right downtown at 18th and F, but I'm also in the office that oversees the strategy for launching this program across the entire country. 7%. So some of you may have seen these statistics this past summer. That's the percentage of government employees right now under the age of 30. So this really shows why it's so important we're all in this room here today. These statistics really frighten me, and hopefully they frighten you all too. If you benchmark this against the private sector, theirs is around 25%. So the government as a whole isn't really doing the best job it can in attracting the millennial generation, and it just really shows how critical and important this is right now more than ever, especially with the government and retirements in the years to come. It really just shows where we are in the state that we're in right now with attracting entry-level and millennial talent. Now, we know we need these people, and we know we need millennials in the government, but they're not coming to government and looking at government as an ideal choice. So when you survey these folks, just 2.4% of engineering majors and less than 1% of business students are actually saying that the government is an ideal place where they want to work. So we know we need them, and we know that they're just not running to us immediately thinking this is a top place for them to work. We have to change our mindset and go to them. So my program that we run here at the Emerging Leaders Program at GSA is really about how we are going to those potential employees and attracting them into government through this program into GSA. So attracting talent, I like to think of this as sort of a customer-product relationship, us being, the person that's selling the product and the candidate really being our customer throughout this whole process. So a little different mindset than thinking of it as, the candidate is really the person that, has all the say, but we really need to look at this as a two-way street, making sure we're offering something that they want and making sure that they're happy once they get that product and are able to be an even better employee. So I invite you to think about your product. What are you offering students today at your agencies? And why might they want to come work for your agency? So what's your pitch and your story to get them in the door, to get them interested? Many of you are probably doing a lot of really fascinating, interesting work, but if they don't know about it, they're never going to even know to come to your agency. The government, as we all know, is so big, so complex. Even for those of us working in government, it's still really hard to grasp all the different things that we do. So really crafting that pitch and that story is essential. And then your connection. Are you providing a really high-touch, customer-centered experience? So are people applying to jobs and then waiting months, not hearing anything, wondering where they are in the process? Or do you have people that, despite waiting for things to happen, just the nature of, the government, security processes and so forth, do you have people that are keeping them engaged from when you first get that interest all the way to when they walk in the door? So pitching GSA and government. The first step in our process is really selling them on our agency as a good place to work and on the government as a great place to work. How do we do that? Well, we pitch GSA as an agency where you could really marry business and an interest in public service. So Emerging Leaders Program, we're really tapping a lot of business talent. That's what we're really looking for our program. Things like contracting, finance, program analysis, and so forth. So that's sort of our target demographic for this program. So we pitch this as a place where, we're a unique agency in that we provide services to other agencies. So a lot of business work does go on, but it's a place where you could also, do the greater good and work in public service. So if someone has an interest in marrying those two things together, it's a great place. So think about, your agency and how you might be able to pitch it as a place to work. When we talk about our agency and all of the work that we do, we really focus that conversation around topics that are critical and important to millennials. So things like innovation, customer service, sustainability, all the hot key topics that they're looking for in jobs. We craft our story talking about our agency in terms of these things, technology, innovation, and so forth. So that's really a critical piece in how we describe the work our agency does. An open, modern, and collaborative work environment. So this is the first time I've been in this building, but if you went to our headquarters building, we don't have any cubes. We don't have any private offices. Our administrator sits out in the open with everyone else. And this has been a critical piece to selling the government as not that hierarchical mammoth that people think of, but a place where leadership is approachable, where they could sit there and work in a team environment. So students these days are working in an extremely team-focused environment while they're in school, and they really want to replicate that in the workplace. So being able to work side by side with people and not seeing, that chain of command is very, very appealing to them. And just the nature of tearing down walls and having an open workspace has been something that really, really attracts them to our agency. So we definitely leverage that when we're on campus recruiting. A variety of occupations. Many of you have this, people from, like I switched from finance to HR. We have architecture, lawyers, engineering, all different occupations, so people could really tap into different things and switch careers if they'd like, and not really have to leave the agency. We all know that millennials aren't going to stay in the same job forever, as much as everyone wants to keep them at their agency. They're going to leave to do different things. And if you could offer them different things at your agency, you're only increasing the chances of them staying. So, challenging work, responsibility, these are absolutely huge. They want to make a difference. They don't want to do, menial tasks. They understand that they have to do grunt work to, have a positive attitude and be a team player. But at the end of the day, they're going to leave a job if they're not challenged and they're not getting good work. So making sure that assignments are, really carved out and managers understand that these employees will just up and leave if they aren't challenged. And we need them because we saw the statistics in the 7%. It's really scary. So. I would say having promotion potential is also huge. They really value the career ladder. Seeing where their career could progress over the coming years has been a really big selling point. And access to leadership. They love mentorship. They want to learn from people. So having access to higher level employees or people who are recently in their shoes is also a really great way to keep them connected and make them, see the path that could potentially lie ahead. And lastly, flexible work schedules. So this is something that, in the private sector, they might not offer, and something that we could really distinguish ourselves. Having that ability to, maybe have every other Friday off, telework, just having that flexible schedule, they really value that. They want to work hard and they want to do a really good job, but they also want to have a life outside of work. They want to travel. They want to see the world. And the government's flexibility and commitment to work-life balance really could help us stand out among other companies that we're competing with for this talent. So as you all leave here over the next week, I invite you to think about what's your story to attract millennials, and how could you pitch what you're doing, which may be very different than what we're doing at GSA, but think about the unique work that your agencies do, and think about what's important to millennials and how you could better craft that message into the future. The second thing we do is we pitch our program. So I never heard of GSA when I joined the agency, and what really sold me was the structured program that they were offering when I came in. And I hear this from a lot of the employees we hire. Yes, they're very interested in the variety of work GSA does, the flexible schedules of the government, and all of that stuff. But what really sells them at the end of the day is the program that we're offering, because they have such an interest in learning, growing, and developing. So the Emerging Leaders Program is a really robust, structured program that is set up to attract millennial interests. So we specifically designed it to really attract those millennial interests. It's a 2-year rotational leadership development program, and it has various career tracks. So whether someone's interested in, finance or program analysis or IT, we have a career track designed for them that rolls into this greater Emerging Leaders program. It includes a 3-week onboarding program, so we don't just throw them behind a desk after they start on the job. They actually spend 3 whole weeks in onboarding. 2 of those weeks is around professional development, training, really learning about themselves, learning about generational differences in the workplace, how to manage up, how to send professional emails, how their actions might be perceived in the workplace. Just a lot of things to really help them put their best foot forward once they start on the job. And then they have a week of formal technical training, which is career track specific. So they might go to a week of accounting training or financial training, whatever the case might be for their track. The program then starts with 3-month rotational assignments. So they complete 7 of these over the course of 2 years. So every 3 months they're getting up, going to a different office, different coworkers, different managers, completely different project. And they have to, adapt to that environment, learn as much as they can, pick up and do it all over again. So at the end of the 2 years, they essentially get to shop for a job while they're, in this training program for 2 years, and we match them with an office of their choosing. So they send us a list of their top 3 choices, offices they enjoyed the most, and at the same time, we're having managers rank, who are the people you want to hire in your office. So 99% of the time, people get their first choice. Chances are, if they enjoyed the work there, it's probably because they did a really great job, hit it off with that manager and those co-workers, and it ends up being a mutual good fit. So managers get to sort of try people out, and they also get to figure out, what am I good at? Where are my strengths? What work do I like? And sometimes, really more importantly, what do I really hate to do? So it's a win-win for both the managers and the participants. Our program is cohort-based, so we bring everyone on together. Typically in August, we bring the cohort on together. They start together. Millennials really want friends at work. They want people that they could enjoy spending the day with, but that they could also, go and hang out with after work and on the weekends. So this is our way of ensuring that we solidify a cohort of people who work together and also, like to spend time together. They have an ability to build a network that might take a typical employee more than 5 years to build. Just the nature of rotating every 3 months, they're building a massive network. So when it comes time down the road for them to take on different jobs, they already have this network that they could tap into and learn about opportunities and go ahead and apply for those jobs. So it's really helped them move around our agency and try different kinds of work. They're able to firsthand experience 7 different management styles. There might be people who work at an agency for 15, 20 years and don't actually get the ability to work for 7 different people. So having this ability to work for 7 different managers and learn what's effective, maybe what wasn't effective. They could begin crafting their own management style because we're trying to move these folks up and get them ready for leadership roles. This experiential learning is really critical. I mentioned that they have formal technical and professional development training, and we also do that in between every rotation. So we bring the cohort back together and, it just helps solidify that cohort. They might go to a professional development class half the week, follow up with some technical training the other half. We like to mix it up throughout the 2 years. We have dedicated program staff, so myself and some others are in charge of running the program in DC and also some of our regional programs. So we have staff that are dedicated out there recruiting for this program, interviewing for this program, making the hiring decisions for this specific Emerging Leaders program, managing all of the rotational assignments, working with the managers on performance feedback, conducting the performance reviews. We really provide the whole experience for the entire 2 years they're in the program, and then facilitate the placement process. And then after the 2 years, they go on and place happily ever after, and they're an alumni of our program. And we have 200 plus ELP alumni at our agency right now. So the finance track of our program has been around for almost 14 years, and we've started other tracks in the last 5 years. More recently, we just launched the IT track, so that's pretty new, and we haven't hired anybody for that yet. We just went recruiting this fall for that. But we have a vast alumni network, and these are the folks we bring on campus recruiting. These are the folks that we have talked to people because they want to hear what's it really like. What is the job really like? What's a day in the life like? So we bring these folks with us, and they represent the program, and many of them have gone on to achieve really high-level jobs in our agency, and it just provides a lot of hope for people getting recruited into this program and seeing what the potential is over the next 10 years in their career. I just wanted to share a few quotes. I surveyed our current Emerging Leaders Program participants and just said, what are the top 3 reasons that you chose GSA as a place to work? And you can see a lot of these answers are structured around, some of them are structured around our program, specifically the rotations, not wanting to pigeonhole themselves in any one job and really wanting to find work that they're going to love. So that allows them to do that. The cohort, knowing that they would be onboarded with people who were recently graduated and in their same situation is really comforting to them. And then the culture at GSA. Seeing a lot of the graduates of this program doing great things, taking on greater responsibility, applying for promotions, receiving promotions, that is really encouraging to them to see that potential. So a high-touch customer experience, I alluded to this a little earlier. It involves a lot of different things, and we're very high touch throughout this entire process because you will easily lose candidates as soon as you lose touch, and you even lose candidates while you're staying very high touch. So it starts with having some plain language job info. So this is where they go for jobs, whether it's somewhere like College Recruiter or somewhere like their college recruiting sites. We can't wait for them to come to us. You have to go to where they're going. I wish every student knew usajobs.gov, but they unfortunately do not. When I was a student, I had never even heard of it either. Like I showed the stats before, they aren't even thinking of government as an ideal place to work. So we really need to go to them and get the idea in their heads. And that's going where they are looking for jobs. The information session, I would say this is the critical piece of our sales pitch. I find this even more valuable than any career fair. It's an uninterrupted hour with a captive audience, giving them a presentation and pitching them on your agency as a place to work, the program you're offering, the job you're offering, and so forth. So I would say you could do this on campus. That's obviously the best choice, but if travel funding is a limitation, which it is for many people, we've done this virtually as well. Through our virtual presentation tools, and it's been effective virtually as well. Just having a captive audience and pitching them on what you're offering and answering their questions just gets them interested. I find that once they hear what we're offering, they're very interested in the job. It's just getting in front of the audience and getting them to listen to you. Handwritten notes from ELPs. So we actually have folks in our program write them handwritten notes, if they met somebody on campus that we really thought they'd be a great fit, just writing them a note saying, Dear John, it was great meeting you, loved hearing about your study abroad experience. If you have any questions at all about GSA, just reach out to me, and they leave their business card in the envelope, and it just helps provide. We can't give them lobster dinners or any of the stuff the private sector is giving them, so anything we could do to stand out is helpful. Check-in emails, sharing job postings, just making sure that we provide multiple touch points throughout the whole process. Sharing the job on USA Jobs once it's posted, making sure that they know that we're interested in them. Responding to feedback about the job application process. Obviously, we can't help them through the process, but making sure that they know who they could go to if they have a technical glitch or something of that nature. Making offers as quickly as possible and making sure that you follow up. The HR specialist will be making the offer, but then our program staff actually follows up, chats with them, let us know if you have any questions. So just making sure that they get multiple touch points throughout this whole process. And then we don't just stop the communication after the offer is made and they've accepted. We continue that communication on through the whole security process and until they walk in that door on day one. So we're setting up Facebook groups for the whole cohort to get to know each other before they come. Just a lot of different things to make sure that cohort is built and solidified a little bit even before they walk in the door. So then they come for Career 101, the 3-week onboarding, and hopefully that there they are at full cycle. So that's a little bit, in a nutshell, about GSA's Emerging Leaders Program and how we recruit and then develop talent through the program. Any questions?
Yeah, so Faith has got a mic for that side of the room, and I've got one over here for questions also.
Hi, Ms. Garvey. I'm with the Internal Revenue Service, and I'm wondering, how do you, because what we were told now with the Pathways program, we can go out and recruit and talk to students about the positions, but a lot of times, we may not be able to touch that student because now with the veterans getting preference. So how are you able to get the students, because we need to know? because we can't get it. And they call me Miss Jackie. I can't get it. I'm getting blocked. I can't get it.
Yeah.
So if there's a way, please tell me.
Yeah, so I will say it's definitely been a challenge getting the same quality of talent we've gotten in the past, and hopefully our OPM representative here will be able to talk about pathways a little more. But this year, we piloted a new assessment tool, and I think I just got an email that the scores are in, so I could probably tell you in a week if that assessment worked a lot better for us. We worked with OPM and USA Higher to come up with a different assessment instead of using Aqua, which, you know, is just yes, no, and everybody says yes and seems to get a 95. So we did work with OPM really closely over the entire summer and fall to administer a new assessment tool, and I should know in the next few weeks how that worked out. So this is mainly how we attract and get the talent to be interested in us. The plumbing of how they get through the door is definitely another hurdle.
And, yeah,
So
yeah.
let's do two more questions.
Okay, and also we'll be providing the
Oh, yeah,
PowerPoint deck.
yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll address that now, those of you who are around the pillar below. So,
Here's a question.
we have speakers, of course, from different agencies, and different agencies have different rules and sensitivities about what can be released and what can't be. At the end of the day, what we're going to be doing is going back to each of the presenters and basically saying, is it okay if we share your materials, that type of stuff. And my expectation is that most, but probably not all, there are one or two that they said, you know, are there going to be members of the media here? Because if there are, then we have to go through a whole different process. So I think, you know, for those who are willing to share, I would say by early next week, you'll get yet another email from me. But this one will be a nice one, saying, you know, here are the PowerPoints. We'll also, we're recording the video, and again, for the presenters and their public affairs offices that are okay, we'll distribute those as well. I definitely expect that there'll be a fair number of people here who want to say like, oh, what did Jayana say about this again? And go back to the PowerPoint, go to the video. Or you might have a colleague back at the office who foolishly wasn't here today.
Good morning, my name is Chuck Cascio, I'm with Peace Corps. I had a question, or actually, could you just elaborate more on how you've been pitching the story virtually, like to people who you might not be able to physically meet in person?
Yeah, sure. So we actually did this a few times. We recruited at Bucknell one semester, and every student was actually studying abroad. So we decided we're going to can our trip traveling to Lewisburg, and we'll conduct everything virtually. So we posted information on Bucknell's recruiting site, said we'd be having an information session. People, you know, sent their resume saying they were interested in the job, and then we reached out to everyone and scheduled an information session. So we had a captive audience of students from Bucknell, students that were actually on campus. We reached out to and said, you know, we won't be coming on campus. A lot of your fellow student classmates are abroad right now, so we're going to do it virtually. And we have technology like Adobe Connect and so forth, so we had the presentation and shared the Adobe Connect link. So we still did it through our same slide deck that we use when we're on campus recruiting, to questions, answers, and so forth. And we've done a lot of interviews as well virtually through Adobe Connect too. So the same experience that we would provide on campus, we've done virtually.
All right, let's do one more. I think there's a woman right here who has a question.
Hello?
Hi, my name is Natasha Schmidt. I'm with the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. I'm interested in your application process in terms of do you hire year-round or do you have specific campaigns? And then as a follow-up to that, how many people do you hire into this program on a yearly basis?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now for our DC office, we typically recruit in the fall. And we are just wrapping up our recruiting process right now, waiting for the the cert results from OPM on our job postings, and we'll hope to make offers before Christmas, and then set people through the security process, and then we'll onboard that group of 25 people this August. So that's our plan with this group. We also are probably hitting the road recruiting this spring for all of our regions. We're just, our office was actually consolidated. We had a lot of different disjointed programs going on, and they all now roll up under the Emerging Leaders program. So we had like a finance program, a contracting program, all different programs. So now we're doing this from a more corporate approach. And this spring will be on-campus recruiting, hopefully for our regional positions. And I'm still waiting for word on how many that's going to be and where exactly it's going to be in our regions. But typically we do like to recruit in the fall just because students are getting picked up really fast by our competition. But not every school is a fall recruiting school or a spring recruiting school. You sort of have to feel it out with each university. Good question.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. That was really insightful.